News from the financial sector that broke today has shocked both the Bitcoin community and the stock market. Investors and analysts are trying to figure out what the latest news means, which could have big effects on the world economy. Bloomberg says that the Federal Reserve held an emergency meeting to talk about XRP, Ripple's digital asset, and how it is becoming a bigger threat to the US dollar's supremacy in global finance. This unusual action by the Fed shows how urgent the issue is. This isn't just another news story. It shows that the top people at the Fed are really worried. This encounter could have huge effects. Jerome Powell and his staff are said to be working hard to figure out how XRP is quietly changing cross-border payments and developing a new way of doing things in the financial sector that could threaten decades of dollar dominance. The US banking system is in more danger than ever before. The Federal Reserve's Crypto Task Force, which was set up last year to keep an eye on new digital currencies and blockchain technology, is now operating around the clock and has made XRP a top priority. The next several days will be very important for the future of global finance. The main reason for this worry is that XRP is the fastest and cheapest way to send money across borders. SWIFT and other traditional systems that have long been in charge of international banking are known for being slow and expensive. It can take days and cost a lot of money to clear payments between countries. XRP, on the other hand, settles transactions in just a few seconds for a little fee. Global banks have recognized this. Several central banks around the world have secretly started using Ripple's technology to improve their payment systems. This shows that people are moving away from dollar-based systems and toward blockchain solutions. One of the most important things to think about is that XRP might make the dollar less important as the world's reserve currency, a function it has maintained for a long time. For decades, the dollar's dominance has provided the United States a lot of geopolitical and economic power, which has affected global markets and international policy. The USD has been the currency of choice for every international trade and every big cross-border transaction, which has strengthened its global stature and made it even more important to the global economy. But if XRP keeps becoming the most popular bridge currency for international settlements, it could greatly reduce the dollar's stake of the global financial market, changing the way money works. The Federal Reserve is very aware of this issue and is keeping a careful eye on the situation. The Bloomberg story says that the Fed is currently talking about policy alternatives that range from stricter rules on XRP to outright measures to ban or limit its usage in the US. This shows how severe the problem is, but there are risks that come with these kinds of regulatory crackdowns. The US is in a race with other countries to embrace blockchain payment systems quickly. If there are too many rules or limitations, innovation and money could move to other countries, giving foreign competitors an edge. This would speed up the loss of US financial power instead of slowing it down. Also, as XRP becomes more useful and forms more partnerships, banks may want to utilize it more, regardless of US policy. This is especially true as they look for faster, cheaper alternatives to old systems. The Fed is in a tough spot. How to keep the currency safe without slowing down technological progress or letting other countries get ahead of us. There is even talk that XRP might completely replace SWIFT, the worldwide messaging network that thousands of banks and financial companies use to relay payment instructions. This makes the situation much more urgent. SWIFT processes more than $300 billion in cross-border payments every year. Even though it's the most popular, SWIFT has been criticized for being slow and easy to authorize. XRP is a different kind of infrastructure that might be more open, faster, and cheaper. If central banks and big banks switch to RippleNet and use XRP as the bridge currency, it may completely change how payments are made around the world and hurt the dollar's status as the world's most important currency. This story has a lot of geopolitical implications in addition to the technological and financial ones. The US dollar has been a strong tool for American dominance for a long time, utilized for anything from enforcing sanctions to gaining diplomatic pressure. The development of XRP as a competitor could speed up the use of blockchain payment networks in countries that want to rely less on the dollar, such as China, Russia, and some areas of the European Union. This realignment might change the balance of power in the world and make it harder for the US to use money to affect world events. But even with these worries, XRP's tail isn't without its problems. Ripple's future is still unknown because of unclear rules, notably in the US. The SEC litigation that is still going on has made investors very nervous and unsure. Also, competition from other blockchain projects like Stellar, which also focuses on cross-border payments and CBDCs, can't be overlooked. Also, privacy issues in the EU and other places may make it harder for XRP to be used widely in some markets. Ripple is still different in this fast-changing world because of its established alliances and technological advantages. This unfolding story gives an investing opportunity like no other. If Bloomberg's news is true, and the Federal Reserve is really worried about XRP's surge, the asset is ready to increase very quickly. Hedge funds, banks, and even some governments have been covertly buying XRP for months in anticipation of its wider use. In the past, big price jumps in the crypto markets have happened when new rules and new technology came out at the same time. The current mix of events affecting XRP, such as its quick adoption, the possibility of replacing abrupt geopolitical developments and the Fed's panic, could produce the ideal storm for a price rise that has never been witnessed before. The lesson is clear for both regular investors and crypto fans. People used to guess what would happen to XRP, but now its path is a big component of a bigger financial transformation. This transformation is changing the way we think about and utilize money. XRP is becoming an important part of the future of money as the Federal Reserve tries to figure out what it all means, and countries around the world reconsider their currency systems. Its power is expanding quickly. You can't ignore how important this moment is, whether you believe in blockchain technology or not. The world of money is evolving right in front of our eyes. XRP is more than just a digital coin. It's become a symbol of how global banking is changing, and the Fed's emergency meeting shows that the era of traditional money may soon face its worst threat yet.